What's up, my peoples? Yeah, Oscar went crazy tonight. And normally I really don't like when they just force feed Oscar the ball. Sometimes I think they rely too much on Oscar and it takes everybody else out of the game. But for some reason tonight, Georgia just didn't have no answers for Oscar. They couldn't do nothing with him. I mean, what did he end up with? 37 and 24. That's crazy to me. And the weird thing about it was a lot of times when the other teams have been double and triple teaming Oscar, you can get Oscar to make a lot of mistakes. If you double and triple him, he gonna force bad shots or turn the ball over. But they just kept playing him 1-on-1, and he was just straight kill him. And but one of the things that really I definitely think we may have turned the corner. Um, One of the things that was really surprising to me though was that how much Cal actually kept Severe on the bench. Um, I was a little shocked that he didn't start him honestly, but then when he kept him on the bench, I was like, whoa. And the thing about it was when he first got in the game, he actually was playing under control for like the first minute. He wasn't really rushing. He had like a nice calm pace about him. He was making some good decisions. He wasn't trying to force his way to the basket. And then right after uh, he actually made a couple of good plays, then he just went right back to that old forcing it and running too fast and turning the ball over and taking bad shots. He went right back to the old Severe, and Cal yanked him. And it actually shocked me that he kept him on the bench for basically the whole second half. Like that was crazy. Yeah, Texas A&M is definitely gonna be tough. Yeah, it does seem like Cal may have seen the light, man. For some reason they just play a little bit better without Severe, and I know they're gonna need him sometime. But I think the limited doses of Severe, is gonna be better in the long run. For some reason, the rest of the players just they just play a little bit better, play a little bit more free. The thing about it was in the first half, we actually played terrible in the first half. And it was looking a little shaky. They was getting good looks. They just missed everything. Their defense was a little shaky though. They was and some of it was Severe getting beat off the dribble. But they missed a whole lot of open shots. Let me see if I can see what they did in the actual first half. Let me see. I can't remember, but I think they might have shot like 33% in the first half. So they was garbage for real. They was hitting their free throws in the first half though. I will say that. And they played much better in the second half. They still ended up only shooting 43% as a whole team, and they shot 23% or 26% from three. So they still shot the three ball bad though. Uh, but yeah, man, this lineup just worked. And they didn't even have a whole lot of the guys have their best game. Like Frederick didn't really have a great game. Let me see if I can figure out what he did. Uh, yeah, Frederick was garbage for real. He was 1 for 8 with 3 points. So they didn't really get nothing out of Frederick. Let me see what did Reeves do. Reeves was 4 for 11 with 11 points. He was 1 for 5 from three though, so we know that Reeves is capable of shooting better than that. So you can really say he really didn't get much out of them either. Um, Livingston gave us 4 points, so they really actually didn't get a whole lot of help outside of Wallace. Wallace dropped 17. He was 7 for 11, so 2 for 4 for 3. So he was the only other player that really did a lot. Topping he gave us another 11, but he was 3 for 10. So mostly it was just Sheway, man. Like they just didn't have an answer for Sheway. Yeah, yeah. Wheeler can help him at some points, but he just gotta I think he just gotta just take his time more. Like he needs to learn how to play with pace, man. And a lot of times he just run faster than I think his brain can even think, man. Like he can't even process what's happening, and he done already ran through the play. But I know at some point they're gonna need him to play okay, because at some point you're gonna have foul trouble. Um, so they're gonna need him to win. But I like him in small doses though. It seemed to help. Yeah, Georgia's Georgia's guards was cooking Reeves though. But the Georgia's guards was getting busy. To be honest with you, they was getting to the basket at will. They was Georgia had more players play better than Kentucky. I would say it's just they just didn't have an answer for Sheway, and I would have to blame that on the coach because you can't let a man just keep torching you and get almost 40 on you, and you're not even double teaming him. I mean, Sheway don't even really shoot free throws that good, so I mean, I would have started fouling him for sure. Yeah, Kaysen did his thing. Sometimes I think Kaysen is a little laid back. Sometimes I wish he would be a little more aggressive, but he played good tonight though. I mean, he played steady, consistent. But sometimes I just be wishing he would just try to do a little bit more. Sometimes, yeah. Tonight they played as a team. Everybody was involved. Not everybody played well. You know, not everybody was hitting shots, but everybody was involved though. Everybody was getting shots. Everybody was touching the ball. Everybody had a couple of moments where they did something positive. Theo didn't really get to play in the second half that much. I don't know if he played at all in the second half. I know he played a little bit in the first half. Um, some of the announcers were saying that he was one of the players that Cal said that needs to get in a little better shape. So maybe that explains why he hasn't been using them a lot. Maybe Cal's just trying to get the guy to start taking his condition a little bit more serious. He don't really look like he's in bad shape, but maybe he could tone up a little bit more, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, yeah, the defense definitely got to get better though. Because they can't we can't really expect Oscar to do 37 and 24 like he going to give us a steady 15 and 13. Like we can at this point we can expect that, but we can't expect the man to go for like 40 and 20. Like it just ain't going to happen. But he might have made some of the NBA scouts start to take another look back, cuz I ain't going to lie to you. Oscar was looking garbage to me. And I don't mean like he was getting stuff done, but like he wasn't nowhere near like what he was last year. He was disappointing a lot. Always throwing his hands up, looking for a foul all the time. Wasn't hitting his free throws. You know what I'm saying? Like he just was nowhere near like last year. So maybe when Calipari called him out, that shit might have embarrassed him and made him feel like he needed to get busy, and he did. Like when your coach call you out and you come back like that, then you know what I'm saying. Coach gonna have to shut up for a little bit, cause that's a hell of a performance right there. Like I mean, he almost had like what was it like? I think he had like he was already in double digits, almost to 20 points at halftime, and I think he had 9 rebounds. So he almost had his double double at halftime. So I knew he was going to end up having some good numbers, but I didn't think he was going to do that though. I thought they would just start double teaming him and triple teaming him. I can't believe they actually just and our shooters wasn't even playing good. So if they were gonna, if there was a time to double him and force him to get a ball up, tonight would have been the night because the only person that was hitting the outside shot was Wallace. So I don't even know why they just continue to let him dominate them underneath the basket. Yeah, this is definitely the most that he looked like, that Oscar looked like himself. Yeah, the only shot blocker that we got is Anyenzo, but Anyenzo just ain't quite ready to play big minutes. Um, but he's really the only rim protector we got. We have nobody else. Ware's not really a shot blocker, but Ware's big enough to get in the way a little bit. Um, he'll at least, he's at least somebody that you got to shoot over. Uh, but like I think Ware needs to use more fouls. Like I think Ware, like if I was a big man and I was coming off the bench, I'm gonna use my fouls because at the end of the day, you're not gonna play that much anyways. So at least you can like bully people around the bucket. Like if they was coming, if them guards, them Georgia guards was coming in the lane. If I was in there, I'm knocking them down. Like I'll take 2 or 3 fouls to make them think about when they drive into the hole like that. And I wish Ware would just play a little bit more physical. He's not gonna be a shot blocker, but he could definitely stand to use a lot more of his fouls. But I think Anyenzo is gonna end up being an elite shot blocker. It just depends on if he gets a little bit stronger. I think once he gets a little bit stronger and he can play a little bit more, he'll probably get more minutes next year. And him and Bradshaw should be able to protect the paint pretty decent. Did my Cats really score 85? Yeah, it's crazy, ain't it? Because normally they be struggling to hit 60 for real. It's been some frustrating games because the offense just looked terrible, but tonight they actually looked like they was running some screens, doing some sets here and there. The ball movement was fluid at times. So tonight it looked like they was doing more than that basic dribble drive Calipari offense that everybody hates at this point. So it looked like they've been practicing some other stuff, and maybe it just took them a while for Cal to feel comfortable that they could do it in a game. But it looked like they definitely been trying to implement some more stuff into the offense. It definitely was helping a lot. Yeah, yeah. Oscar definitely he definitely don't got the greatest IQ. Eh, yeah, he definitely a defensive liability. I ain't gonna lie to you. As far as anything outside of rebounding, uh, but though there was a couple of times where some of the guards was trying to take him off the dribble, and he actually did better against some of the guards than he does against men his size. Though I did peep at it was probably like 2 times where I seen the guards try to take him off the dribble, and he actually like defended it pretty decent. You know what I'm saying? So I give him a little bit of credit for those small amount of plays, but yeah, most of the time though, whoever it is, a big man guard, whatever, they going right around him, and he definitely ain't guarding the pick and roll. So he definitely got to work on that. I would like to see Frederick and Reeves come back, but then again, I don't know because I I just feel like they're gonna end up having a problem with players getting playing time next year because I just feel like Frederick and Reeves don't look strong enough to where they could actually have a argument for starting or playing a lot of minutes because I think these guys that's coming in are just gonna probably be better than them overall. They might not be able to shoot as good as them, but I think overall they're gonna just be more effective. Unless I'm wrong about that, but some of these guys like Edwards and Dillingham, like they just look Wagner, they just look like they can play. So we'll see. But it'll be interesting to see who all comes back off for this team though, because I'm pretty sure Sheway's gonna leave. If he wants to try to make it to the NBA, he's got to go now. And I kind of feel Wallace is definitely gonna leave, I believe. And for some reason, I think Livingston is gonna leave too. Like I'm not necessarily sure that that's a good idea, but I do think Livingston will leave. I think Livingston eventually will figure it out and be a legitimate NBA player. But I think he just got to figure out what position that he really truly is going to have to play. Um, I think he's already got the size and strength. He just got to refine his game and polish himself up. But I think he'll probably go in the draft too, and he probably end up spending some time in the G League, like some of the a few kids that over the last couple years, like Brandon Boston, Ty Ty Washington. Ty Ty actually had 55 points the other day in the G League game. So I think Livingston will end up taking that role for a couple years and then eventually find a spot in the NBA. Yeah, yeah, I like Thero, man. I can't wait for to see Thero get actually, you know, get to the point where he's getting a decent amount of minutes. Cause man, anybody that's ever played ball, we all know sometimes it's just hard when you come off the bench, like you warm up and then you go sit on the bench. So when you actually come in the game, it's really like you didn't even warm up. You ice cold again. You need a couple of minutes just to run around to get your blood flowing again. And some guys are good at it. Some guys can just pop up off the bench and be ready to go. And then some guys just need a little time, man. So that's one of the things that sucks about Kentucky is Calipari kind of doesn't really give them like enough time to get in the game. Like when he bring you off the bench, if you make a mistake, then quickly he's getting you back out of there. So hopefully when Thero gets a chance to really get on the court, I think he'll end up being good, man. Cause he always plays good. He always plays hard. And like I was saying, like his daddy was tweeting that he's just down to do whatever. Like he'll play 1 through 5, whatever position. He'll defend whatever position. Um, he plays hard on both sides of the court. So at some point, man, I think he's gonna be like a key factor to Kentucky. But I just don't know if it's gonna be anytime this year or if he'll end up being more of a contributor next year. Just kind of hard to see, but I hope that we don't lose him. You know what I'm saying? Like I hope he ends up staying on the team. Uh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I think Livingston is gone too, regardless. And next year we gonna be lit, I believe. Like I think next year's group is gonna bring it back to what it's supposed to be. Um, but man, I gotta start looking at 2024 because some of y'all done told me 2024 is a weak class. And I ain't really been looking into it a whole lot. Like I did like Ian Jackson from what I had seen of him. I thought he was cool. Um, so I was a little disappointed when I seen him going to North Carolina, but like I said, it happens like that sometimes. But yeah, I'm gonna have to check it out. I had been hearing that he was gonna reclassify maybe anyway. So if he does go to 2024, it's probably best that he didn't come to Kentucky because Kentucky's going to have so many players that I don't even know if everybody's going to have enough room to get some minutes. So he probably would have got left out anyway. So it probably was a better decision for him to go to North Carolina, especially if he is going to reclassify. But I ain't really been paying too much attention to nobody else in 2024. So y'all going to have to let me know who I need to look out for. Uh, I'll start watching some videos, see what I think about them. Uh, but as far as what I would look at for this season as a success, um, it's hard to say because in the summertime, okay, well, I'll even go back. All right, right after the season was over, we had the meltdown against St. Pete, and it was super disappointing. But then when I seen, like, okay, after we rebuild the team, I was like, mm, we actually probably gonna have a good team. And then when I seen them in the summertime in the Bahamas, I said, shit, we might have a chance to make the Final Four. So I actually had always felt like this team was gonna be one of the best teams in the country. So whenever we started getting busted, I was like, ugh, I was super disappointed. So I don't really know what I would call it success. If I just throw away all of my feelings about, you know, what I thought they was gonna do before the actual season started and just take about how I feel about them now, if they was to, because I would still say right now they kind of on the bubble. If they get in the tournament and they get to the Elite Eight, I would be like super satisfied because of how garbage they started off the year. It's always gonna be disappointing because like I said, I felt like they was Final Four worthy. So I was hoping or even expecting a deep run in the tournament, but now I'm just like, man, we got to battle every game just to start building up some wins so we can get in the tournament. Cause you know what happens when you go in on the bubble, you're gonna have a one of those funny seeds, and your game, you're not gonna get no easy games. Like it's gonna be, your first round all the way through is gonna be tough. So if they was to get to the Elite Eight, I probably would still consider it a decently successful season. At least building some momentum back, man, because we haven't won a tournament game in a couple of years. So if we was to, get to the Elite Eight, I would feel like the momentum's coming back. And then next year when we got the guys coming in, I would feel a lot better and feel like, okay, we building towards something, and hopefully, you know, maybe even have a special, another one of those special teams that looks like they gonna win the championship and at least make it to the Final Four. That's what I want to see. I want Calipari to at least get us back to the point where, every couple of years we at least get into the Final Four, or we at least get it look like we got a team that is capable of getting to the Final Four. And I don't want to see us taking no more first round exits. You know what I'm saying? I know that sometimes stuff just happens and sometimes the ball just don't fall, but I don't want to see no more first round exits when we have solid teams. You know what I'm saying? So that's that's basically where I want to see it at. You know what I mean? But anyways, guys, man, it's getting late. I'll probably go on and wrap it up right now. But I appreciate y'all getting on here with me, and I'm gonna start doing some more live streams. I just started it today for the first time, so this is my second one. I done one for something different on Facebook, so I'm getting into the live streaming thing. So I'm gonna start doing a whole lot of these, and try to keep the momentum going, keep everything growing. So I appreciate y'all, man, and we'll get back at it next time on Sports and Discourse with Derek Stevenson.